Today we are talking about movement and beyond. Hey, muscles do much more than just move your body and provide protection. They actually program your brain and your nervous system. Hey, I'm Dr. Randy Wirtz, a neurologically focused pediatric and family chiropractor dedicated to seeing you and your family live your healthiest lives. Let's talk about this, shall we? So the nervous system, we have to understand the nervous system controls everything in the body. And if there's interference with the function of that nervous system, there's going to be interference with the function of how the body works, specifically movement in this topic. So when a baby's not rolling over, or they're not holding their head up or turning their head or not crawling, that's affecting the development of the nervous system. When toddlers can't walk, when they have growing pains, that's affecting how they walk and move through life. That eventually catches up with them in adulthood when they're having sciatica or they're having problems focusing and having anxiety later in life, or just exhausted. It's going to have an effect on them later in life. So movement actually feeds and programs the brain too, other than providing the ability to move. And if the nerves aren't talking to that body, the nerves aren't talking to those muscles, well, they're not going to feed those muscles correctly. But likewise, if the muscles aren't moving correctly and feeding the brain, that's going to have an effect too. And what I find as a pediatric chiropractor, I'm looking at birth issues. I'm looking at when baby was born, how traumatic it was. Is it affecting the upper neck? Because so much of where the brain gets programming is how the neck moves, how the body moves. So when a baby's learning to crawl, it's actually integrating the left and the right brain so they can talk together. And when they're talking together, it's actually setting the brain up for reading later on. So crawling is just not a matter of, hey, they're getting moving and it's readying the next stage for walking. It's actually programming the brain to function at a much higher levels than it did before. Likewise, if these problems persist where a baby scoots on their bum or they're shuffling their legs, that leads to problems later on with the child being able to be coordinated. Those problems being coordinated, that leads to sciatica in adults, or growing pains leads to sciatica in adults, or some other neurological function as well, where the nervous system just stuck in a state of stress all the time that I've seen through case histories throughout my 20 years of experience. So movement is just more than just movement. And movement programs the brain. It feeds the brain. It nourishes the brain to function its best so you can function your best too. Hey, if this is making sense to you, piquing your interest, or you're thinking like, wow, this is a different way of looking at the problem that I have right now for my child who's having colic, or my child who's not crawling, what that can lead to later in life, by all means, give me a call. We'd be happy to help you, see if this is the right place for you, and answer your questions as much as possible before we get in the process of being a new patient. Until then, I'm Dr. Randy Wirtz, inThrive Chiropractic. Take care of yourself, get outside and play, and stay tuned for other videos in the rest of this month as we talk about development as well. Bye-bye for now.